Most people will never taste wealth, not because they weren't smart enough, not because they didn't want it badly enough, but because they never rewired the operating system that controls their every decision, their mindset. Most people stay broke because they are loyal to comfort, to distraction, to fear, to excuses passed down like family heirlooms. They wake up every morning inside a mental prison, built not of bricks, but of beliefs, inherited, accepted, never questioned. Money is hard to make. Rich people are lucky. I'm not the type of person who wins. These aren't just thoughts, they're invisible chains. And the cruelest part? Most people decorate their chains, defend them, even teach their children to wear them. But wealth, true wealth, doesn't respond to excuses. It doesn't listen to your stories. It bows only to the mind that refuses to be average, the mind that dares to challenge what it's been told. You see, poverty isn't just a lack of money, it's a state of being, a default setting created by years of thinking like everyone else. And if you think like the masses, you earn like the masses. Barely enough to survive, never enough to be free. So let me be brutally clear. If you want to break out of that cycle, you don't start with money, you start with the mind. Think of Henry Ford. Before he built the Model T, before he revolutionized transportation, he made a decision that most people never dared to make. He believed that what he imagined could become real. And when his own engineers said it couldn't be done, he didn't negotiate with their doubt. He commanded them, build it anyway. And when they said again, it's impossible, he repeated, I don't care how long it takes. Build it. That's not just leadership. That's wealth consciousness. That's mental steel forged in conviction. You want to know why most people stay broke? Because they negotiate with limitations. They treat doubt like a trusted advisor and treat belief like a reckless risk. They say they want more, but their actions bow to fear. They say they want freedom, but their habits scream slavery. They say they're hungry, but they settle for crumbs because they've never tasted what it's like to be starving for greatness. The world doesn't reward people for trying. It rewards people for deciding, for committing with such intensity that doubt doesn't stand a chance. Look around. Everything you see, every building, every invention, every business was once an idea in someone's mind. The difference between those who build and those who beg is clarity of belief. Most people never develop that clarity. They drift, they dabble, they chase motivation like a drug, but run from discipline, the very thing that turns belief into reality. If you were to crack open the average day of a broke person, what would you find? Endless scrolling, complaining about the system, avoiding discomfort, consuming instead of creating, reacting instead of building. Now crack open the day of someone on the path to wealth. You'll see something else entirely. Intentional mornings, ruthless focus, relentless learning, deep work, strategic rest, unapologetic belief, and above all, they've killed the virus of someday because they know that someday is a scam. The wealthy understand something the masses refuse to. Time is currency, and every moment spent in indecision is a withdrawal from your destiny. So ask yourself honestly, have you decided to become wealthy? Or are you just hoping to avoid being broke? There's a difference. One is rooted in vision, the other is rooted in fear. And until you commit with every cell of your being to rewriting the story you were raised with, until you decide to build a life instead of borrow one, you will always be one emergency away from collapse, one missed paycheck away from panic, one broken dream away from giving up. Because broke isn't about money, it's about identity. And if your identity is still tied to survival, you'll never give yourself permission to thrive. Because here's the brutal truth they don't teach in schools. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're willing to demand from yourself. And most people aren't willing to demand more. Not from their minds, not from their time, not from their habits. They've been taught to hope quietly instead of build loudly, to dream small so they never taste disappointment. But what they don't realize is comfort is the most expensive addiction on earth. It robs you of progress. It whispers lies that feel like love. And worst of all, it feels safe while it's destroying you.